What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the yellow color, playing as Zeus. His name is TSM Player. His partners today in the purple... Wait, that seems wrong. What's the teams? Yes, in the purple color, playing as Hades. His name is Goldline, and rounding out the team at the top of the map here, we do see Skadi playing as Odin. Their opponents today in the green color, playing as Uranus. His name is Aya. Playing as Hades. His name is Mariano. And finally, the king of team games, playing as Loki. His name is Squash. The map is Oasis, it feels like. And we have got ourselves yet another incredibly high level team game. The thing about team games, when it gets to the upper echelon of skill and the teams are really balanced, is often what ends up happening is one small mistake ends a game. That's what we saw in the last game. One small mistake kind of ends a game. And you don't get to see the whole entire team game experience kind of fleshed out, so to speak. But hopefully this game is going to be a little bit different. We do find ourselves on the map Oasis, a much more defensive map, much more late game based map. So we might be seeing that happen. And we do get a fairly strange composition here from player Goldline and Skadi here. Odin, Hades, Zeus. Don't really understand it. Don't really understand the Odin in this one. I get the kind of Greek-esque defensive orientated Hades, Zeus mindset here. Both those gods have got access to Underworld. Very strong. Skadi playing as Odin gets access to Ragnarok. So there is a world where you could utilize that Ragnarok in conjunction with the Underworld to make that work out really nicely. We'll have to wait and see what's going to come here, as it does look like Mariano, Squash, and Aya are sticking with that same composition as the villagers of Squash moving forward. Do find some giraffe over here. Has he found his zebra at all? He must have. He must have found his zebra. There's always zebra on this map. Maybe it was just two, but two zebra and a whole bunch of giraffe. Always going to be happy seeing the 5 giraffe on this map. As Prometheus, going to be coming through here for Aya, and the game will continue along. Obviously, Aya here is not gone for hunting dogs yet again, but on this sort of a map, it's a different sort of experience. Now, I do think but there's a world where you can afford to get yourself an economic guild and get yourself hunting dogs on this map with Uranus while going for a 4-minute advance time. Just after you click the classical age. Take a look at the resources right now. What is it? 3? He's got the 200 wood. He's got the 170 gold. You could have grabbed it. It would have been great. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Is it stupid? Maybe it is. Forseti also coming through here for Squash. Looks like everyone's going a little bit slower than they otherwise would normally be going due to the map spawn here. Sometimes Oasis can be a bit of a difficult map to get a clean advance on. I do think that these sorts of maps you can get clean advances on. You just have to, well, you have to find your hunt. And especially with gods like Greek, you don't really have that much of an excuse for it, as Squash going to be pushing forward here with his Herser. Finding the villagers, does drop the spy down immediately as Bolt get utilized there from TSM Player to hold any sort of early pressure onto that position, as the wall's up for Skadi already. Skadi is saying, you know what's better than a than having to fight the Iranos player in this game, just walling them back and just saying, go away. I don't need to deal with you. So we do see some hero Terma coming in. This is going to be playing around the fact that Aya has gone for a no hunting dogs build, and he's going in with mass Terma in this game. These walls, they're not going to be able to get broken down by Terma. So Aya's going to have to find some other way to make this work. As we do see the villagers coming through here. Mariano pushing in. We do see Gold Lions coming in with his own Ajax to take out that troll over there. Continuing to whack away at that one. I'm surprised Squash didn't... Well, looks like the Ajax has decided to leave that position there. Nonetheless, as we do see archery range, military academy coming up on this side here for TSM player. Did he go through Athena here? Yeah, everyone's going through Athena. There's no way we see Hermes in these sorts of situations. Ceasefire might seem like a good god power, but 9 times out of 10, it's actually not the best. So we do see the walls getting broken down here ever so slowly as the all the Terma helping out, but nothing's really going to amount from that. As we do see the Dras also taken down, giving Squash a little bit more favor, getting himself that Hall of Thanes. Second Town Center coming down for Mariano. Second Town Center also coming down for Gold Lion in this position, as TSM player basically needs to match the Squash Herser in this game, but he hasn't spotted this just yet. He's deciding, instead of chasing those Herser around, he is going to target down this hunt here. But unfortunately, this decision here, not the best, as Squash has already finished that one up, and he's going to be retreating back home. As Gold Lion also moving forward here, we do see the military units getting trained into their buildings there. There's more Deuterinos popping out here. We do see the Hoplites taking some good fights there as well. As Watchtowers is going to be coming up. More Herser popping out on this position as well. As Squash going to come over here, finish up this granary. Or at least get a little bit of chip damage onto the granary. There's still a fair amount of food left here, which... honestly, TSM player, if he wants to, can just send some villagers back up there and eat, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing here. It does take that, obviously does have to take that hit of walking time to leave and then come back again, but he's going to get the majority of that food in. As we do see the Herser, they're already en route, and there's really not that many units here. This is a pretty greedy play from TSM player, sending his army forward here. As the villagers get pulled back, a Herser will snipe down a villager here. TSM player pulling back into his home base here. We can see, look at Squash's base is always beautiful. He's got the perfect walls set up on this tower. We see the Sentinels getting dropped down here as well. And TSM player will be able to break down this forward tower after all is said and done. But a lot of damage going to come in for TSM player there as well, as the villagers pulling back into the main base. Good amount of damage. Great micro here from Squash, forcing player to miss so much damage there. Doesn't lose a single Herser, and TSM player is in a very bad position moving forward. Skadi here making himself the raiding cavalry, attempting to take this fight here, but just not able to do so, as Mariano is over on this position helping out, as Gold Lion basically, he needs to be over here quelling the pressure of this Squash Loki. Meanwhile, Wall Segment's trying to come up around the Sentinel here as well to keep that one nice and safe, but cannot quite finish those off. And the Sentinel does end up getting taken down on that position. Meanwhile, the Aya unit's going to be looking to raid some of Gold Lion's main base here. The villagers on this woodline a little bit naked where that's concerned, as the Herser coming through, sniping units left, right, and center. There's that Valkyrie spawn. That's really useful there. One Herser does end up falling there. Nice focused fire from TSM player, killing the low HP Herser. But now with that Valkyrie, this gives Squash a little bit of a cue to allow him to walk into his opponent's base. We do see the Sentinels down for Gold Lion. Probably would have been better to save that and maybe use that on Skadi's main base there, but alas, not how it works. As TSM player now wandering up onto this position there, we do see the Squash unit's going to be taken out. Toxodi, where that's concerned. Herser almost going down here as the Valkyrie looking like it's going to be sacked to some degree or utilized elsewhere. There is not really a whole lot of space for him to get much done there. Meanwhile, over here, Skadi taking it slow at this point on the on the Herdables there, has the medium raiders out, pushing those Aya, Terma away, as we do see a town center coming up. And to me, the best way, and I'm not sure this is what's going to happen here, but the best way for Aya to continue in this game, once he gets this town center up, would just be to say, I'm not going to beat Skadi in this game because well, you're probably not going to because of the Norse, the defensive nature. There's not really a whole lot he's going to be able to do. But he will be able to continue to put pressure onto Skadi and slow Skadi down. But he doesn't need to go heroic age to do that. So what he can do is actually say, you know what? Give the resources over to Squash. Squash having a really nice heroic age and maybe even a really nice mythic age behind that, giving an extra bit of slinging coming in, resource tributing coming in. It's going to give Squash enough of an advantage here to break through and put a stop to anything else. Great reaction there from Squash as well. He puts the wall down. The units are going to be retreating back. Mariano coming over here to help defend, as Squash doesn't actually have a whole lot of stuff in his main base here just yet, as he's raiding around with those Ursa, trying to find value, but there's really nothing left here to attack rather than like the main base of a TSM player. As he needs to start putting farms down. Bit of a weird farm situation here. He might want to put a granary out there at that position as TSM players' units have to retreat back. We do see the walls up over here for Mariano as well. Absolutely love that. That's catching TSM player out. Something fierce here as the Dwarves coming over onto this gold mine here for the time being. Bragi is being clicked up by Squash with a nice timing there, so to speak. As the army swings around, these Dwarves going to have to be pulled off yet again as the army's been kind of distracted back here. Dwarves going to get pulled. Again, nice reaction from Squash. Yet again, meanwhile, on this position, the raiding cavalry still searching around, trying to find something. This town center hasn't yet come up for Aya in this game, but the raiding cavalry are going to be searching for everything as the restoration drops for both players here. But Hades, Mariano, Toxotes here with the medium Toxotes will be able to clean this up. And TSM player does indeed get caught out in this game, losing an entire piece of his army. Big advantage here now for Squash, Mariano, and Aya on this position. But the game is going to get a bit spicy over on the other side here as Skadi now 2 town centers. He's got his farms started. He's still got a handful of Herdables left remaining in the main base. You can send villagers over here to build farms if you so chooses, as well as the raiding cavalry are going to be retreating back home. We do see the army of Gold Lion and TSM player trying to break through here. Majority Toxotes in this army. I like that with the hoplites kind of tanking tons of fire in the front as those Hersa are going to get cleaned up. But the mid-unit spawns here of Squash are gigantic as the battle balls pushing in here. More battle balls getting created, breaking through those Toxotes beautifully in this fight, as there's just not enough heroes here to deal with this at all. And now both Gold Lion and TSM player need to retreat back home, as TSM player is in a very difficult position. He doesn't have the heroic age. Mariano's 3 town centers to Gold Lion's 2 town centers. He's getting farms up into his main base. No second town center either. Thea on the way here for Aya as well. Again, I would love to see Squash just get tributed some resources here from Aya. Just take a quick look at this. Instead of Aya going for this heroic age and mythic age, give it over to Squash, who's got no resources at the moment. He could be in the mythic age. And imagine a Fimbulwinter in a minute and a half rather than anything else. Where is that Underworld? Underworld Passage coming into the main base of TSM player now. Dropping in with how many battle balls? 6 battle balls coming in to erase this town center. 20 hack damage, 20 crush damage. The Toxotes of Mariana here as well, going to clean up the heroes very fast of TSM player, and TSM player is in a very difficult position now. The Physis has started. We do see the frost coming through here though from Skadi. That's going to relieve some pressure at this point here from Aya, but the town center going to survive. Where is Gold Lion at this position? He's sending more units over here as Mariano's Hephaestus well and truly on the way. What else do we see coming through? Lots of upgrades coming through. Hephaestus for both Gold Lion and Mariano on the way, but Gold Lion here still not with that third town center. That's advantage Mariano. If you ask me, there's not enough of an advantage there. Does TSM player have any sort of upgrades coming through? Not just yet. Hecate on the way here for Aya. I'm surprised to not see the Vortex coming through. If he's not going for that Vortex, that Helios. Very, very strong god power there, but Hecate is the we've got a choice here, as the town center will end up falling to the Battle Ball Pain, as the Toxotes of TSM player trying to hold on here. The Manticore trying to help out as best as it can, but there's just no heroes remaining to deal with these Battle Ball that are just going to clean up the Toxotes. TSM player going to attempt to make some sort of a retreat away from this position if he can, as I don't know where he's really going to go. There's nothing much that he can do. We just see some Einhyar spawns here from Squash going to come over and help out, as Tyr is now coming through for Squash. As the villagers moving up to the top side of the map, he does escape with a little bit. Look at all the farms gone. This is going to be a very difficult position. Mariano's now got fortresses down over here. He's going to start grabbing town centers and everything else. The Plenty Vault is up on this position. The thing is that Gold Lion does still have his own underworld passage in this game, which he could potentially utilize. TSM Skadi, with the idea of potentially going for Ragnarok here, could be a difficult thing for, well, Aya to survive from. So Aya might get erased in this game as well, in a similar fashion to what TSM player has been has had happen to him over there. But it does look like TSM player trying to break through on this position. The Throwing Axeman doing some good damage. The other thing is that Mariano is about to jump up to like 6 town centers or 5 town centers, with Squash going up to 4 town centers or something like that. It can be very, very difficult, as we do see the Tartarian Gate in the main base of Skadi. Skadi going to be utilizing his villages here, but also Fimbulwinter going to be on the way here very, very shortly from Squash to hit this location as well, doing double the amount of damage to come through. As the Battle Balls here, we see that's a lot of Pegasus from Mariano. I'm not sure what the idea, well, I guess the idea is that they tank the Toxotes of Gold Lion there as Fimbulwinter gets dropped down. The Fimbulwinter spawn onto Skadi's main base. This is going to do so much damage to the economy of Gold Lion Skadi. TSM player is going to be completely fine here because his villages are kind of not close to any town centers, but he doesn't have that many villages remaining. As you do see the Toxotes coming over here, do manage to take out the Tartarian Gate. Skadi has to pull back though, as he is in now in a difficult position with the infantry units of Aya pushing in to take out this town center of Skadi here. As the town center coming up for Mariano on this position as well. The Battle Balls searching around for something to do. Mariano now 5 town centers, just about to be 5 town centers. Does he have a trade route set up as well? He's got, look at the perfect trade route as well, right in the corner, pushing up to this town center over here as well. He could have gone from this corner over to this town center, would have been, or this town center here probably would have been a little bit stronger, but a very, very nice trade route nonetheless. And in that moment, Gold Lion decides to call it. TSM player and Skadi follow suit, as just so strong here from Squash and Mariano. What an insanely well played game. I think TSM player has got to be kicking himself for wandering around to the back of this gold mine and getting trapped in the main base of Squash here. I think maybe if he just pushed through here, I mean, I think there was units here, so we couldn't really do it, but the escape path would have been through this location here and around back onto his army. But just the really smart usage of this wall from Mariano completely caught TSM player off guard, and then from that moment he was just way too far behind. And that Battle Ball underworld was so brutal. That was so smart from Mariano. Maybe Squash called it, but I don't know. That was such a great move. Well played. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.